Congress is expected to vote on that long-stalled $61 billion aid package for Ukraine tomorrow. CIA Director Bill Burns warning about the consequences if it does not make it through Congress.
There is a very real risk that the Ukrainians could lose on the battlefield by the end of 2024, or at least put Putin in a position where he could essentially dictate the terms of a political settlement.
And joining me now is retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, who just returned from Ukraine. He's the former National Security Council Director of European Affairs. You'll recall he was a whistleblower in the first Trump impeachment over Ukraine, and he's currently a senior advisor to Vote Vets. So it's great to see you again. Thank you so much, Colonel Vindman. Tell me about the situation. What we are hearing from Ukraine is, I heard this certainly when I was covering Zelensky in Munich in March at the forum. They're out of ammunition. They need American ammunition. Contrary to what former President Trump has been saying, the Europeans put up $54 billion and have outpaced us in spending this year. And while we've had that Senate package just sitting and not voted on in the House, they need air defenses and they need ATACMS. Russia now has long-range missiles from North Korea.
Well, thanks for having me on, Andrea. I think I've had multiple trips to Ukraine. I've come back generally optimistic about the Ukrainians' prospects as a snapshot in time. This one was by far the most disturbing trip I've had. The main challenges arise from what amounts to a complete shutdown of support from the U.S. for the past 6 months. It's resulted in major shortfalls in artillery ammunition. The Russians are out shooting the Ukrainians 5, in some cases 10 rounds to 1. The Russians have honed in on this new tactic where they're dropping these massive, enormously destructive bombs, glide bombs that they fire from about 70 kilometers away. Because we haven't been providing interceptors, the Ukrainians aren't able to shoot those planes down that are launching these bombs. And in general, the Russians have been producing more drones. They're now producing more drones than the Ukrainians. And without additional support from the U.S., the Ukrainians are losing territory, losing personnel. This package that's likely to be approved in the coming week is going to be critical, but it's going to be too late. We missed an opportunity. The Republicans, under Speaker Johnson's leadership, delayed for 6 months. And the best case scenario, we could see aid coming through maybe in the next 2 months or so in a meaningful way. And that's exactly when the Russians are going to be launching a major surge operation in the late May, June, July timeframe. And it's a race. Who gets there first? Does our support get there in time? Or do the Russians achieve major tactical gains and then Ukrainians lose territory? And now we're in that very, very thin window where a lot is at risk.
That is so alarming. The Prime Minister from Ukraine was here yesterday and said, we need Patriots. We need air defense. Can the Patriots, first of all, do we have enough to supply them because our own supplies are low? And can we get them meaningful numbers of Patriots in time in that 2-month window?
Well, I think Patriots are part of the formula. The answer is yes, we can afford to supply them. We are not facing a near-peer challenge. The U.S. is not in a state of war. NATO as an alliance is not in a state of war. We're on the cusp of it. And the determination of whether we do go to war is success in Ukraine. So we should, and Ukraine's fighting. So we need to make sure Ukraine has all the resources so like this NATO doesn't get dragged into a larger conflict with an emboldened Russia. But it's also planes. Those F-16s need to get there as quickly as possible. They need to come there with long-range missiles to knock down these drones that the Russians are launching, cruise missiles that the Russians are launching, destroy the planes that are launching these massive glide bombs. That needs to come in. Artillery needs to come in. I mean, the Ukrainians, frankly, also need to make some courageous decisions on their own. They just passed a law to mobilize the population. The way it gets implemented will be critical. Those troops are going to be necessary in the late summer timeframe to hold back the Russian onslaught and to potentially build for an offensive next year. That's important. The U.S. has more to do. This is just the leading edge. The support, the $60 billion, is just the leading edge. ATACMS are part of the formula. Making sure Ukraine has the resources to take all of that massive equipment that was provided, that is now broken down, just normal wear and tear, needs to be fixed. It's not getting done. And training the Ukrainians to be able to do all these complex, defend against Russians' onslaught, and then conduct offensive operations. A lot to do.
when I was in Munich, it was the weekend that Advika went down, and then successive retreats in areas. Now we see in the north terrible bombing overnight in major areas in Kherson and other major cities. How is morale?
Morale is slipping. I think this is one of the critical reasons why a mobilization law needed to be passed. More people needed to be rotated in to allow people that have been fighting for 2 years a little bit of respite. I think the U.S. coming through with aid is going to be critical. That is going to be a big boost to morale and also depress Russia's morale, Putin's morale, and the fact that he thought that this would be an easy year for him. And that's why my organization, Vote Vets, has been so heavily involved. We put in masses of resources, $800,000, to ensure that Congress did the right thing. Finally, we hear Speaker Johnson over the past couple of days issue a very powerful statement that he's going to support the Ukraine aid. That is critically important because we don't want to see our troops fighting on the ground in Ukraine. And again, unless Ukraine is successful, unless Russia learns its lesson that military aggression is not going to work, we will see a situation in which Russia's emboldened and the chance of U.S. troops ending up in Ukraine becomes higher. So we're going all in on this and making sure that Ukraine has what it needs. But that's the first step. Now we need to make sure that Ukraine has the resources to succeed over the course of the next year.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.